I'd like to invite everyone here to take a minute with me and go back to 2016. But I want you to imagine yourself, this time, this might not be new for some of you, but I want you to imagine yourself as a 19-year-old girl in college. And I want you to imagine what it must have felt like when this individual was elected into the highest office the United States has to offer. I don't care what your political views are. That's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is the things that you might have seen on the internet or heard from friends or read in the tabloids. This man can be quoted saying that sexual assault in the military is simply what happens when men and women work together. Or who has said that women are inherently manipulative. Or the crowd favorite, just grab her by the pussy. Now, if you are anything like me, or a lot of other girls that I know, then that might have made you angry. It might have made you scared. But most of all, it probably would have made you feel vastly misrepresented by the leader of your country. Donald Trump, this sexist individual who happens to be our president, has somehow turned into gasoline that has fueled this fire of feminism. Women got really angry. How do I know this? Because I saw pictures of this all over my social media. Women's marches took over the nation. Over 3 million women participated. There's 100,000 in Portland alone. Portland's right there. That's a big deal. That affects a lot of people. And this is awesome. This is empowering. This means that women are finally getting their voice back. Not my president. The future's still female. So that's exciting, right? Well, but what are they going to do with that? At the end of the day, who's in office? Who's still making the policies? Is it me? No. Is it any of the other women that are marching? Probably not. So that means there's a deeper rooted issue here. We need female leaders. Why do we need female leaders? Well, various studies have shown that female leaders have positive effects on healthcare, on education, the economy, foreign policy. They focus more on cooperation together to achieve common goals instead of having this superiority delegation thing going on. They are more likely to be more responsive to their constituents, meaning that they're better representations of what the public wants. And luckily, we have all of these organizations that have been popping up to help women enter this political sphere. This is helping with seed funding, it's helping with organizing, it's helping with training so that women can start to enter political offices. Now, Run for Something in that top left corner said that in 2016, 900 women sought them out, saying, yes, I would like help, I would like to run for office. Okay, 900's not bad. Compare that to 2018, 30,000 women sought out this organization and said, yeah, I want to run for office. I can be that. I want to make a difference. That's so exciting. I just got applause. That's a big deal. But what are they up against? Well, currently, there's about 20% of women in office in our political system. That includes Congress, that includes the House of Representatives, and that includes the Senate. Ranges from about 19 to 23% in each of those. That's kind of a big barrier to jump over. So are women actually running now that they've sought out help? In 2016, there are 272 female candidates for the House of Representatives. 2018, 422 candidates. That's a big deal. They are running. They are filing for candidacy. I'm feeling pretty empowered at this point. I don't know about you guys. Until, of course, I researched that only makes up 25% of all of the candidates that are running for the House of Representatives. Even with all this fuel, all of this anger, all of this passion and dedication to wanting to make a difference and enter the political sphere, it's not enough. Women are still making up a quarter of the people running for these positions. So, while Donald Trump has a long list of faults, I have an alphabetized list if anyone would like a copy, maybe we can't fault him for this. Maybe there's something bigger going on here. And as much as I give mad props to every woman that went out and marched, and all of the women that are running for office, it's not just on them either. So what is it? It's political ambition. I want everyone to look at this graph and look at, it's not just the difference, but when is there a difference? Thinking around age 18, give or take, around there. So college age. That's when the major drop-off is. Why is there such disparity in why men or women feel that they are qualified or unqualified to run for candidacy in political office? Well, political scientists Richard Fox and Jennifer Lawless came up with 5 reasons. The first of which is parents. It starts at a very, very young age. The way parents talk to their kids, the issues they talk to their kids about, that has an effect on whether or not they believe that they are capable of making a difference in perhaps the political sphere. Second reason they came up with was exposure to information. Boys are just more exposed to girls, and that could be from conversations that people are comfortable having with them, could be because they are socialized into thinking they should pay attention to the news, whereas girls aren't. They're socialized to think they should pay attention to Instagram. I'm not sure. The third one was the most interesting to me, and it was a correlation to sports. Looking further into this, I found that it was actually in the coaching methods that they were particularly getting at. Boys' teams are generally coached in a way that focuses a lot on winning and getting the best results and being the top of the league or whatever it is. Whereas girls' coaches are more, you can be better here, let's make sure that you're making personal improvements. Encouragement. I can almost guarantee that everybody in political office right now has at some point been encouraged by somebody in their life to run for office. And this apparently happens more to boys than it does to girls. And finally, perceived qualifications. Women are less likely to think of themselves as being qualified to run for office than boys are. And this has to do with a lot of psychological factors that happen throughout their lives, not just in adulthood. So who's responsible for changing this? As awesome as it is that women, grown women, are finally starting to run for office and think of themselves as capable, it's not just on them. Clearly, that's not going to be enough to change this. This needs to start from the root, and it starts with everybody. Everybody here can affect this and make a difference. Parents, teachers, peers, coworkers, everybody. It's the way you talk to people, it's the way in which you think about things. For example, as a parent, if I were to have a daughter, I'm not going to tell her she can't be a princess. I'm not saying we should raise girls exactly the way we raise boys. I'll tell her she can be a princess. I'll just tell her that as a princess, she better be ready to own up to the responsibility of making sure that all stuffed animals are playing nice and have a place to sleep at night. They're going to be taken care of. So, with all this in mind, I would like to amend my previous title from marching to running to full body training for a marathon. This issue is not a sprint. It's not something that's going to be fixed in one race. It's not something that's going to be fixed in a couple of years. Unfortunately, it might not only be the year of the woman. It's going to have to be a couple decades if we are fully addressing this issue.